to play lesson number 9 in the Breezeezy Drum Method book. In this lesson, we're going to learn about after beats, and that means that the note is going to happen after the beat sounds. So if we're counting 1, 2, 3, 4, the after beats are after you say the number. So if we were to break the measure up into eighth notes, it would be all the ands. So remember, our eighth notes are counted 1 and 2 and 3 and 4 and. If you notice, the ands happen after you say the number or the beat. So the after beats are those ands. So if we're going to play just the after beats, it would sound like this. 1 and 2 and 3 and 4 and. So we're playing after the beat happens. So it's kind of in between all the different beats. Let's look at lesson number 1. If you notice, the very first beat has an eighth note rest. So you're going to say 1 on that rest, but then you play on beats and, 2, and. So it's going to sound like rest and, 2, and you're going to keep doing that for the next few measures. So we have rest and 2 and, rest and 2 and, rest and 2 and, beats 1, beat 2. And then we do the same thing for the next few measures. We have rest and 2 and, rest and 2 and, rest and 2 and 1. Then you rest on number beat 2. Here we go. Let's try playing it. 1, 2, ready, play. Rest and 2 and, rest and 2 and, rest and 2 and 1, 2. Rest and 2 and, rest and 2 and, rest and 2 and 1. Rest on 2. And then there's a repeat. So we do it again. Ready, play. Rest and 2 and, rest and 2 and, rest and 2 and 1, 2. Rest on 1 and 2 and, rest and 2 and, rest and 2 and 1. Rest on 2. Here's song number 2. Again, it's in 2, so we're only counting to 2 beats. The first few measures sound like this. 1 and 2 and 1, 2. Let's just play that so far. Ready? Play. 1 and 2 and 1, 2. The next measure, if you read it, it's the beats are 1 and 2 and, but on beat 2, you have a rest. So you're going to play, and then the next beat is the after beat. It's the and of 2. So you're going to read it like this. 1 and, rest on 2 and. So 1 and, rest and. Let's try playing that. 1, 2, ready, play. 1 and, rest on 2 and. Good. So now let's put that with the next measure. So we have the third and fourth measure. 1 and, rest and 1. Rest on 2. Let's play those 2 measures together. This is measures 3 and 4. Ready? Play. 1 and, rest on 2 and 1, rest on 2. So we're going to play the third and fourth measure. You have 1 and, rest and 1, rest on 2. Let's try playing that. Ready? Play. 1 and, rest and 1, rest on 2. We're going to play the rest of the song. It is exactly the same as the first half of the song. So we're going to play the same thing over again. Here's measures 5, 6, 7, and 8. 1 and 2 and 1, 2. 1 and, rest on 2 and 1, rest on 2. Let's try playing it. 1, 2, ready, go. 1 and 2 and 1, 2. 1 and, rest on 2 and 1, rest on 2. Let's try playing through that whole entire song. Here we go. 1, 2, ready, play. 1 and 2 and 1, 2. 1 and, rest and 1, rest on 2. 1 and 2 and 1, 2. 1 and, rest and 1, rest on 2. There's a repeat, so let's play it again. Ready, go. 1 and 2 and 1, 2. 1 and, rest and 1, rest on 2. 1 and 2 and 1, 2. 1 and, rest on 2. We're going to work on song number 3 now. If you notice, beats 1 and beats 2 are both rests. you're going to play on the after beats or the ands of that measure. So that measure, the first two measures actually, are going to sound like this. 1 and 2 and 1 and 2 and. Let's try it. 1, 2, ready, play. 1 and 2 and 1 and 2 and. We're now on the third and fourth measure. If you notice, there is a rest on 1, and then you play and 2 and. So it's going to be rest and 2 and then the next measure is 1, 2. So this is measures 3 and 4. Again, rest and 2 and 1, 2. The next half of the song, measures 5 through 6, are exactly the same thing. So let's play the rest of the song. We have rest and, rest and, rest and, rest and. So we rest on 1, rest on 2. We have 1 and 2 and 1 and 2 and. Then the next measure is rest on 1, and then we're going to play and 2 and then 1 again. So it's going to be 1 and 2 and 1, rest. So try that again. The last two measures are rest on 1 and 2 and 1, rest on 2. Let's go back and play the whole entire song from the beginning. We have rest on 1 and rest on 2 and rest on 1 and rest on 2 and rest on 1 and 2 and 1, 2. Rest on 1 and rest on 2 and rest on 1 and rest on 2 and rest on 1 and 2 and 1, rest. Let's play it. This time I'm just going to say rest instead of saying rest on 1. Here we go. 1, 2, ready, play. Rest and rest and rest and rest and rest and 2 and 1, 2. Rest and 2 and 1 and 2 and 1 and 2 and 1, rest. We're going to play that one more time. There's a repeat. Here we go. 1 and 2 and 1 and 2 and 1 and 2 and 1, 2. 1 and 2 and 1 and 2 and 1 and 2 and 1, rest on 2. We're now on lesson number 4. If you look at the measure, it says C. It has a C, which means common time, which means we're counting to 4 in this measure. So if we break down the measure, it's going to sound like this. 1, you're going to rest on beat 2, and then you're going to play and. So it's the second half of, it's the after beat or the second half of the beat 2, which we call and. So it'll be 1, rest on 2, and then the rest of the beat measure is 3, 4. So let's try that measure again. We have 1, rest on 2, and 3, 4. Let's try that again one more time. Ready? Play. 1, 2, and 3, 4. The next measure is the same thing. Here we go. 1, rest on 2, and 3, 4. Then we do it again one more time. 1, rest on 2, and 3, 4. Then the last measure of that line is 1, 2, and you're going to rest on 3, 4. Take a look at the next line. This time we have a dot next to the 1 count or quarter note. The dot adds a half of a beat onto the note. So that note is now worth 1.5 beats. So if you were to put a quarter note, a 1 count note, and an eighth note right next to each other, and you tie them or add them together, it means that it's going to be worth 1, and the eighth note's a half a beat, 1.5 beats. So it actually sounds exactly like the very first line. We're going to count that dotted half note. 1, 2, and 3, 4. We're still moving on the end of beat 2, but we're going to count 1.5 beats. So we're going to count 1, 2, and 3, 4. And that's going to be the second line. Let's try it. Ready? And you're going to play 3 times, and then the last measure is different. Ready? Play. 1, 2, and 3, 4. 1, 2, and 3, 4. 1, 2, and 3, 4. 1, 2, rest on 3, 4. Instead of putting the rest after the first note, they just extend the sound and they say it's a 1.5 beat. If I were playing an actual instrument, the sound would sound for the whole 1.5 beats. But because we're playing the drum and once you hit the sound, it stops, it sounds like there's a rest after you play, but there isn't a rest. It's going to be held for 1.5 beats. Let's try the whole song. So line 1 and line 2 sound exactly the same. Here's number 4. 1, 2, ready, play. 1, rest on 2, and 3, 4. 1, rest on 2, and 3, 4. 1, rest on 2, and 3, 4. 1, 2, rest on 3, 4. Next measure, next line, same thing. 1, 2, rest on 3. 1, 2, and 3, 4. 1, 2, and 3, 4. 1, 2, and 3, 4. 1, 2, rest on 3, 4. Great. We're going to try that one more time from the beginning. First line of number 4. 1, 2, ready, play. 1, rest on 2, and 3, 4. 1, rest on 2, and 3, 4. 1, rest on 2, and 3, 4. 1, 2, rest on 3, 4. We're on the next line. 1, 2, and 3, 4. 1, 2, and 3, 4. 1, 2, and 3, 4. 1, 2, rest on 3, 4. Great job. We're now on lesson 5. This time, if you notice, it says 3, 4 at the beginning of the line. That means we're only counting to 3 this time. But the rhythm is the same thing that you had in the second line of lesson 4. So it's a dotted quarter note. It's worth 1.5 beats. So you're going to count 1, 2, and then you're going to move on the 8th note for the and after beat 2. So it's going to sound like this. 1, 2, and 3. Let's try that again. So it's going to be counted. 1, 2, and 3. Now, in the next measure, you have that division looking sign. And remember, that means that you're going to repeat the measure before. So whatever you played the measure before, you're going to play it again. So we're going to play the first measure 2 times. So we're going to play the first measure 2 times. Here we go. 1, 2, and 3. Do it again. 1, 2, and 3. Now we're going to go on to the next measure. We have 1, 2, and 3, and. And then the next measure, just 1 count notes. 1, 2, 3. Let's do the next part. Again, it's another way to play the exact same thing of the song. It's going to go the same way. Instead of holding a dotted quarter note, they're going to put the rest in there. So it'll sound the same, but it looks different. So we're on measure 5, the 5th square over. We have 1, rest, and 3. 1, rest on 2, and 3. 1, rest on 2, and 3, and 1, 2, rest. Let's try the whole entire song, line 5. Remember, the first 4 measures are going to sound the same as the second 4 measures, but they look a little bit different. Here we go. 1, 2, 3. 1, 2, and 3. Play it again. 1, 2, and 3. Now you're going to go on. 1, 2, and 3, and 1, 2, 3. 1, rest on 2, and 3. 1, rest on 2, and 3. 1, rest on 2, on 3. 1, 2, rest on 3. Let's try playing this 2 times through. There is a repeat. Here we go. Number 5. 1, 2, 3. 1, 2, and 3. 1, 2, and 3. 1, 2, and 3. And 1, 2, 3. 1, rest on 2, and 3. 1, rest on 2, and 3. 1, rest on 2, and 3. And 1, 2, rest on 3. Repeat. Do it again. 1, 2, and 3. 1, 2, and 3. 1, 2, and 3. And 1, 2, 3. 1, rest on 2, and 3. 1, rest in 2, and 3. 1, rest on 2, and 3. And 1, 2, rest on 3. Great job. I can't wait to hear your recording.